Joker has been receiving crazy reviews from all sorts of critics and film festivals, but will the general public feel the same way when they see it in about a month? Let's talk about that right now. Hello everybody and welcome back to another movie news video. My name is Joker and today we're talking about Joker, the movie that is apparently getting the craziest reviews I have ever seen out of a DC movie. So pretty much from the start, I had really high hopes from this movie and it looks like those high hopes are actually pulling through, as everything I've been seeing from the start of the Venice Film Festival and just keep going from there, everything has been insane. The reviews are amazing, everyone's saying that the movie is fantastic, the acting is great, the cast is great, the whole story is just great. I'm hearing nothing but amazing things about this movie and really no negatives. I may have seen like one or two people saying they were neutral about it, but the major consensus is that this is a fantastic movie and that it is Oscar worthy. Just a list full of the reviews that I've seen so far. These are all the ratings I've gotten. As of right now, I've got IGN with a 10 out of 10, The Guardian 5 out of 5, Heroic Hollywood 9 out of 10, Comic Book 5 out of 5, GameSpot gave it a total of a 10. I'm assuming that's out of 10. Total Film 5 out of 5, the IMDb score is a 9.8, Empire gave it a 5 out of 5, and the Rotten Tomatoes score is an 88%. So Rotten Tomatoes is the lowest score, but I know everyone's always like, well, you know, half of these aren't necessarily credible sources, you can't always trust their opinion on this, la-da-da-da-da. As you know, I just listed about 10 of them there, so take your pick on which one you like. They're all amazing reviews so far. And it's honestly, it makes me feel fantastic. It makes me feel great and really excited for this movie because obviously it's no secret. I love the Joker. He's one of my favorite characters of all time. And now that he's getting this kind of a rebranded look with an original story, I'm so on board for it. I will admit, you know, I was a little skeptical at first. I was like, Joaquin Phoenix is the Joker? Really? The guy from Signs? All right. I mean, is he going to take a baseball bat to an alien? I mean, I'll watch it. And I really wasn't sure. And then I saw the costume design for they did the makeup test that they leaked about a year ago, I think. It was just a little like 12-second video of just some makeup. I wasn't really sure how I felt about the design, but I was like, you know, it's a makeup test. It could change between now and then. And didn't end up changing, but it started to grow on me, as most of the other Joker designs have. So I was just like, you know what? I'm going to give this movie a try. I'm not going to judge it based on how it looks, and we'll see what happens. So, obviously, all right now, from both the trailers we've seen, I've seen nothing but great things. All these reviews are saying that the movie is fantastic, so I'm wondering what's going to happen in October when the movie comes out to the general public. Is everyone going to come out with a bunch of backlash and attack it? Because that's typically sometimes what happens. The critic scores are always really high, the fan scores are always really low. But again, who knows? But of course, even now, films are going to get backlash no matter what happens, and most of the time, the backlash happens before the film even comes out. When the film was first announced that there was going to be a Joker standalone movie played by Joaquin Phoenix, it already started getting backlash. Everyone's like, oh, it's going to be terrible, oh, it's awful, DC's awful, you name it, it happened. But that happens for just about every movie. There's always going to be some form of backlash that comes out from rumors that turn into these giant stories that happen before months or maybe even years before movies even see the big screen. But I'm hoping that the backlash will slowly start to go away when we realize that when this movie comes out, it actually might not be as bad as everyone's saying. There's a lot of people that say that they weren't really into it from the first trailer, they weren't really sure what to think, and then when the second story arc trailer came out, that just came out a couple weeks ago, if not actually just last week, I think, everyone that watched it was like, you know, I wasn't sold with the first trailer, but I've seen the second trailer, and now you've reeled me in, you know? I actually kind of want to see this now, and that's always a good thing to hear. So now I'm wondering that if maybe the story is actually going to be driving people to go see this movie because it's an original story, there's nothing tied to any of the comic books about it. So I'm wondering that's either going to make or break this film. That's what I'm thinking here. But amongst any of like the reviews, I've been trying not to read any of the reviews of the film yet because I want to see it for myself. You know, I've been looking at some non-spoiler stuff, but again, everything's just fantastic. Most of it is just saying that Joaquin is perfect as the Joker. You know, it's a casting choice that is absolutely, he was made for this role, stuff like that. Very similar to Heath Ledger when he played the Joker as well. Obviously not comparing the two, but it's just the fact that, you know, he really wanted this role. He lost about 50 pounds for the role, and he said it like really messed with him up here. So I'm wondering if that added to his role as Joker in this movie, because he looks very, very unhealthy in this movie. He looks a whole lot better now that he's gained it all back, but he looks very sickly, pale, and thin, and just not well, and he just really wanted to give it his all when he made this movie. So just knowing that he went out of his way to lose a whole lot of weight for this role, I think it's awesome, but it's also kind of scary about how like impactful that could be be on his health. But basically, all the reviews are just saying great things, and it's just leaving me with like a list of what I'm hoping to see out of it. Because sure, the reviews are saying they're great, but you know, I have my own little mental checklist of things I like to see and what I'm expecting to see. And I mean, just about this movie, I am most excited about going back to Gotham. Okay, we saw a little bit of it in Batman v Superman and in Justice League. You know, it's its own little thing, but now we're getting a different Gotham. You know, this movie is separate from the DCEU. It's a standalone film. It has no impact on the current story that we have going with the DC universe. So it's a brand new take on Gotham set around the 1980s. So it's really dark and grummy and gross, and I love it because I always love seeing new iterations of Gotham City and how different they are compared to others, especially like the Joel Schumacher movies with you know, Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, because I loved the look of Gotham City in that because it just looked massive. There's a bunch of wacky colors all over the place. It was very unique and very different. And then we move into like the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight series, where Gotham City is a very much just a realism version of Batman. You know, it's just a real city. There's nothing crazy about it. And then now seeing this as a more dark and gritty, gross version, I think it's going to be more similar to the Gotham that we're seeing in the Gotham TV series that just wrapped up this year, where it's just very dark and it's always overcast and gross outside. So I'm wondering if that's going to play into this movie as well, just because that's what it's looking like from all these trailers. It's just really rundown city life. No one's happy, everyone's grumpy. But that's one of the things that Gotham City should always be. Another thing that I think is going to be fantastic is that this is a fresh take on the character. Like I've said before, sure, there may be some design implements and some stuff that happens in the movie that was maybe thought about from the comic books, but this is not based off any story we've already seen. Sure, they may look like every now and then, like I think when he goes on the talk show with Robert De Niro, it's very similar to the scene in The Dark Knight Returns Part 2 when the Joker's on the talk show. So there's a lot of aspects so far from the trailers that look like it was implemented from some of the maybe the movies we've seen or comic books before. But as far as the main storyline goes, it is completely made up, brand new, on the spot between Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix. It's its own thing. So there's no tie into anything else, and I think that's what's going to give this movie a lot more room to grow and a lot more room to do things that maybe you wouldn't be able to do because of continuity. For example, you know, like Jared Leto was playing the Joker in the DCEU, and whether or not he's going to stay with that or not, who knows, but, you know, having this person as the Joker, you can't do a whole lot if you have a DCEU setup. You know, you have boundaries. You have to stay on track with everything so you don't rewrite continuity areas with other movies. So this being its own standalone film, it has so much room and so much potential to do whatever it wants. And the last thing that really is exciting to me is, what is it going to turn into? Is it just going to stay as a one and done film, and that's just it? We're going to have one fantastic film and then no one's ever going to do anything else with it? Because Todd Phillips actually said if the movie does really well, he would love to work with Joaquin again in any way, shape, or form. So it is possible, but I mean, I guess it's possible for every movie that if this movie does well and is well received and they love it, they could possibly do another one and we'll get a sequel to this Joker film. I don't know how the ending of this film goes, if it even ties into possibly have a sequel in the works, but knowing that both Joaquin and Todd would be down to do another movie if it did well, I mean, I'm on board for it. If you're that confident, and so far it looks like they should be confident that everything's going this well with all the reviews and all the critic scores and stuff, if you're going to do it, I would just do it carefully and be careful to live up to the expectations that the first film has already laid down. But what are you guys most excited for with Joker? Let me know in the comments down below. Is it the characters? Is it the cast? Is it the music? I hear the music is amazing. You know, that's something I'm really looking forward to as well. But let me know in the comments down below what you're looking forward to with this movie. I want to talk about it. But until this movie comes out in October, and I get to see for myself what we're working with, that is going to be it for this video, guys. Remember, if you like what you saw, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to see more movie news videos or if you'd like to see anything else. But until then, and as always, I will see you guys next time.